You might have been browsing around and seen these cars on Amazon or somewhere similar and been wondering because of their price, are they any good? Well, today we are going to take a look at them and I'm going to give you my opinion on them. Hey everybody, my name's Jimmy. I'm drinking Starbucks Sumatra today, and this is Coffee and Trains.
This video is brought to you with support from my patrons on Patreon. These videos would not be possible without them, and if you'd like to join the Patreon community, you can follow the link in the description below and join for as little as $1 a month.
So these cars are something that are potentially great for budget buyers. You know, they're not that expensive. The 3 box cars are for between $50 and $55, and they have gondolas as well that are between $40 and $45. So I wanted to give them an overview and give them a test so that you can know what you're buying, because you can't buy these cars individually and in scale. You have to buy them as a 3-pack. So that's still dollar amount, not that cheap. Let's go ahead and check them out.
You can get these box cars in a 3-pack on Amazon for between $50 and $55, depending on when you buy them. They come in a couple different colors, no road names, but you can obviously customize them if you want. And if I'm being completely honest with you, they didn't look half bad. They're pretty basic. They're just a shell and a base, no really additional details other than the brake wheels. But if you're looking at it and with the molds and everything, it really doesn't look half bad. Now, I don't know if they bought these molds or they made them themselves, but the detail you can see here is pretty solid, and for in scale is definitely all right. So the first thing I really wanted to do was really look at the couplers, which are their own brand. They are knuckle couplers. First thing I did was hook them up to my Micro Trains couple gauge, and it worked just fine. And that also corresponded with the fact that it did play nice with Micro Trains couplers. No issue coupling with those. However, that was not the case with Atlas couplers and Bachmann couplers. There were a lot of issues trying to get these to couple. They did not like to align, and a lot of times they had to be manually aligned. You can see right here with this Atlas car and then with this Bachmann car that they just did not want to go together, and it really took some finagling. So not good for switching with these kind of things where you're just backing up and trying to hook up and take off. And I'll show you part of the reason why right here. You can see here it does have the little springy plastic pieces that keep it aligned, and they work if you really put pressure on it, but if you don't put a ton of pressure on it, they're going to hold their position. And also it is broken up into 2 pieces to where it could flex and open up to accept another knuckle coupler, but it doesn't really open up that well. Now, another issue that I was running into with running the train was I was having some derailment issues, and I wanted to figure out why. And that was because when I weighed it, it was only 17 grams. Now, to give you a frame of reference, I grabbed a 50-foot Atlas in-scale box car, and you can see that it weighed 31 grams, nearly double what the other one weighed. So clearly that is the issue that's causing a lot of the derailments, but that's a simple fix with some weights. And you can see that once I open it up that the weight in this thing is actually really small. So not much weight on there when you compare it to the Atlas car, which the weight is literally the size of the base. And actually just the base weighs more than the entire car from Eve model. And I will say that the quality was also inconsistent. This is another one of the cars in the 3-pack, and you can see that one coupler is totally fine, but the other one is missing a brake hose, so very inconsistent quality with these. This car's weight was also not secure in it whatsoever.
So there is the overview. Before we get to the testing, I do want to talk about some of the coffees that you guys are drinking. Brian Page, Model Trains, says that he's watching with Black Rifle Coffee Company's Freedom Fuel Dark Roast Black. Thank you so much, Brian. And Ronnie's Crazy Adventures says that he's drinking Starbucks White Chocolate Mocha. Very delicious. I have to agree with you on that one. And Mr. John B says that he is drinking Maxwell House Medium Roast Just Black, no sugars. Thank you guys so much for sending those in. If you want your coffee mentioned, you can put it in the comments below. Let's go ahead and get into the test, because this was actually fairly interesting, and I think you're going to be interested with the results.
I'm using an Atlas Dash 8 to perform these tests, and I will say that I was not surprised at all when the couplers became an issue. The biggest issue I was running into, and you can see in slow motion, was derailments on turnouts. And what you're seeing here, we're going to zoom in really quick, is you're seeing the brake hose snag on the points. And this was a consistent issue. So basically the brake hose is too low and it would snag on different points depending on where it'd end up being angled from its coupling. So you can see it happen on multiple occasions. Sometimes it would hit different sections, sometimes it would hit frogs, just very consistent issues. Now, I will also say that this company also makes gondolas that are cheaper. They're around $40 to $45 for a 3-pack, but the couplers run into the same issues. However, it does not have the same derailing issues because of weight. Now, the way that I solved both of these issues was actually pretty simple. And you can see that it derails here as well. And it's a very inconsistent with the gondolas, but what I ended up doing was removing the brake hoses completely. And you can see with the gondolas, and it also did it with the box cars, that pretty much solves the issues.
So, what are my final thoughts on these? Well, it's a bit complicated. I do think that they have some solid details and the bodies are good, especially I think they're about starter set quality in terms of what you have here, but when it comes down to it, and it's not even really the trucks themselves, it's the couplers because the trucks are fine. They have metal wheels which work great, but when you look at the couplers are just a major breaking point, which means that you would have to replace them to make them run consistently. And while that sounds like a cheap fix, if you have the know-how, you also got to look at the fact that you're going to have to purchase those things, and that's going to up the price per car. So I don't know if I can recommend these. I would say just go out and look at micro trains and all that kind of stuff. And if you're looking at a per car cost, because if you're replacing, let's say you just want to go ahead and you don't want to fiddle with replacing the couplers because you don't know it's going to work, and you just want to replace the trucks, you're looking at about, based on what kind of couplers it is, you're looking at about $5 to $7 per car to replace those. So that's adding an extra $21 per 3 sets. So, or we'll say 23, 24 with tax. And you're really pushing that $75, $80 mark for a 3-pack of cars, which is about, like, I see 3-packs for that price all the time. I see them for less, honestly, all the time. Now, you can obviously just do what I did and cut off the brake hoses, but I still think that the couplers are a little flimsy, as in addition to the other issues that I had, and I'd be worried about them hauling in long trains, and especially up a grade. So I don't think I can recommend these. If you certainly want to try them, that's what I mean, that's completely up to you, but I don't think I'll be buying another set. I'll probably buy some micro trains trucks to make them work better, but since I already own them. But the only thing that I can say I'd recommend this for is if you're looking to do some custom work, and you want to do some custom painting and you don't want to ruin a perfectly good car and you just want the shells or something like that. That's about the only thing I can recommend. So these cars, it's the couplers that is the breaking point, and I can't recommend them. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you've bought these cars and you have a completely different experience than me, go ahead and leave that in the comments. I want to hear about it. So don't forget, it is American Heart Month, and I'm working with the Heart 4 PCOS right here. I'm not working with them. I'm just check out the link in the description below for PCOS challenge to see how you can help. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Jimmy from the DIY and Digital. Stay safe, be kind, drink some coffee, and happy railroading.